We're going on a walk to talk about the verse of the day. Okay, so today's verse comes from the Old Testament part of the Bible, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 16. Now, this verse is God talking to his people long after they had been rescued from slavery, but before they had entered the land that God had promised for them. I'll read it to you in the New Living Translation just because that one's easy for me to understand. For I command you this day to love the Lord your God and to keep his commands, decrees, and regulations by walking in his ways. If you do this, you will live and multiply, and the Lord your God will bless you and the land you are about to enter and occupy. Whew! That's a long one. God has commands for us because he loves us. Now this verse calls obeying God's commands walking in his ways. If I go on a walk with someone, I'm going to end up in the same place that person ends up, right? Well, I want to be close to God for his protection and his blessing. So, if I want God close to me, I have to walk with him or walk in his ways. Now, the book of Deuteronomy has lots of rules for God's people to follow, but, spoiler alert, hundreds of years later, God sent Jesus to earth to show us how to walk in God's ways. Jesus is the perfect example to follow in our walk with God. And you know what Jesus said about all of God's commands? That we could roll all of them up into one rule: to love. Love God and love others is God's most important command. Loving can be really hard sometimes, but the good thing is we don't have to come up with all that love ourselves because what Jesus did for us on the cross. Now, when we choose to walk in God's ways, his Holy Spirit gives us the power to love God and love others. That's it for today's verse. Come back tomorrow.